And, so we just jump right
I don't care about your guys' week at all, how it went. I mean, just
who cares about us?
Yeah,
we got Steve Briggs.
Steve!
I've seen this coming.
Wow. Well, real quick, I guess, for some, we know who you are, but for some of our anglers that don't know you, could you tell them a little bit about yourself and how long you've been carp fishing? And man, this is the great Steve Briggs. Man, wow, that's I remember like wow.
Well, I suppose. I've been fishing for carp, catching carp now for over 50 years. I think it was 52 years since I caught my very first carp, and I've been carp fishing ever since then. It's never stopped. And I sort of travelled around a lot of the world, different countries. I've caught 50-pound carp now from 18 different countries. So I've chased big carp wherever they are, wherever I can find big carp, whatever country, I've tried to go there and tried to catch them. And so, carp fishing's just been my passion forever. Nice. All my life revolves around fishing. My work, my life, my home life, everything sort of revolves around fishing. It's always been that way.
Yeah. As you were talking about, you're traveling to different countries. I was doing, a little bit of research beforehand, this week, and I was getting a little bit of discrepancy. Some places were saying 5, and some places were saying 7. The number of different countries that you've caught 50-plus pound carp from. So can you clarify? Is it 5 or is it 7?
18.
It's 18.
18
different.
You just said that, James.
I didn't.
He literally just said that, James.
Sorry,
James.
I'm trying to make everything good.
You know what I want to know, Steve, while they're fumbling over themselves, is
Rude.
Your wife is equally as passionate. Yeah, she travels a lot with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the trips we travelled together. Yeah, and I actually met her on a fishing lake.
Awesome.
There was a lake used to have a little restaurant and a bar on site, and she was running the bar and the restaurant, and so we became friendly from there. But she worked there because of her love for fishing. She's always loved fishing. Before I met her, she was fishing since she was a young girl, but she loves it as much as me, and we go on all the trips together. A lot of guys I speak to, they say, oh, my wife, she wouldn't let me go fishing, she doesn't want to go fishing. Well, with mine, she doesn't want me to go fishing without her.
That's
she always wants to be.
That's fantastic.
But it's a great situation. It's a great way to be.
Is it true that she was the first female to catch a 60?
Yeah, as far as we know, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I know in the days of the magazines in England, we used to keep records of all the fish that were caught, big fish especially. And there weren't so many big fish caught. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there weren't so many big fish being caught.
Right.
And so, yeah, she caught a 60-pounder, and it was, as far as we know, no one's ever came up to us and said, look, I caught one before, and they would have done. For sure, they would have done. But no, so she was the first. Yeah, the first.
Man, that's amazing. How was it, back when you first started? You were talking about the carp magazines, and, back then there weren't very many big fish caught. Nowadays with all the alarms and, we have super high leakage pop-ups and everything like that. What were, some tactics that you used, when you first started carp fishing?
It was very basic. Everything was basic. The baits, I had either worms or corn or luncheon meat, and that was it really. There was nothing else. There was a big explosion of high protein baits. There was like a high protein bait revolution going on at the time in the 1970s. But I was still at school then, so I couldn't afford those baits, and I had no chance really. And the tackle we had was so basic. Our beds were just the cheap camping beds. We only had umbrellas. We didn't have bivvies or tents in those days. And the sleeping bags were cheap ones from the local store, that were no good for anything really. So we sort of really suffered. I mean, we didn't know any difference. That was the main thing. We used what we had in those days. And of course, we always say, if only we had this gear back then. But we didn't. We didn't have any of that. And we didn't know it. So we just sort of made do with what we had, which was very little, really.
Yeah, and I'm sure, as you say, you didn't even know that you guys were missing out on the gear. So I'm sure that even though, you were bare bones, if you look at it now, that you enjoyed every second of it back then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I did everything I could just to be out there fishing all the time. And, my very first carp was a winter carp. It was caught in February, when it was cold. And there was never a question of not going. The only thing that would stop me going was if the lake was frozen over.
Yeah.
And yes, it's still the same now. It's funny. I thought of that the last 2 days because it's quite strange to be sitting here now because I literally haven't spoken to anyone for 2 days, and I've just sat here and there's 3 lakes here altogether, and normally they're busy and there's literally no one here, and I thought, who's the crazy one here? Am I a bit crazy for being here? But it's what I've done all my life, so I'm not going to stop.
Amen.
Wow, nice. This is awesome.
And so, do you still use corn?
Yeah. I've got corn with me today. Yeah, and it's going out there. It's amazing when you think that 50 years ago, and all the technology and the innovation that's come with bait,
right,
and a can of corn still catches carp.
Yes,
just the same.
Sure does. Daniel's big on corn. He sure is.
I personally, I love corn. I think people spend too much money on things like boilies and everything. You give them some corn, they'll feed.
Yeah. It's been about a good 6 years since the last time you've been to the United States. I seen you at an event over in Chicago area. I believe it's Chicago.
Yes, yeah.
And I actually got a picture with you, so that was a great honor. I hold that proudly up on my wall. But have you ever thought about ever coming back to the United States and come back to the Del Hollow?
I think about it all the time, and we talk about that trip a lot because that was such a all the trips we've had to America have been great. In one way or another, they're all different. And the people are always so friendly and kind to us. That's one thing, and I love the freedom that you have there. I remember when we got the big boat on Dale Hollow, the big houseboat. The guy just said to us, "There's the lake, go and enjoy it." And I always remember that. There was no rules. Like here, you've got so many rules. You can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And it stifles the fishing. I love the freedom.
Right.
We're always talking about coming back. We will come back for sure, 100%.
And you drove the boat yourself?
I did.
Man, that's brave, Steve.
That is very brave.
That is brave, and that's a big old boat. And forgive me because I didn't do the research that Daniel and James did, but I do remember that was the last marina to have an open houseboat. Yes, is that why you had to get one from Eastport?
Yeah, that was right. I looked at all the marinas and they were all fully booked. And Eastport Marina, I'd sort of overlooked it. I hadn't seen it. And then I saw that they had one left, but the only one they had was the big one.
Yes, I've seen it.
And
oh my
I thought,
God.
well,
You are
big
brave.
party
Yeah.
barge.
You are brave, sir.
Yeah.
we were just all in at that point. I thought, well, just do it. Just do
Yeah,
it. And, you know, and the funny, when we arrived, they said to us, well, how many's in your party? And I said, no, it's just me and Joan. But it was great. It made the trip, though. It really
Yeah,
did. You know,
no,
it was,
they are wonderful vessels. They really are.
And
yeah.
at the time, when you came to the United States, of course, you didn't pack up a lot of your gear, and put it on the plane. You actually went to Big Carp and Tackle, and they helped you out.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great guys. They really are. Yeah, I mean, they shipped over some boilies, and they were there waiting for me at the marina. It's fantastic.
Wow.
And it was through Dave Moore at Big Carp Tackle that I actually went to Dale Hollow, because we were talking about coming over and places to go.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, have you thought about Dale Hollow? And, all of a sudden, that was it.
Right,
I thought, Dale Hollow, yeah, that's where we're going. So they all played a big part in that trip, and many of the trips.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are really good people over there. I'm excited about that lake that they're building.
Yeah,
And the big move over there.
Yeah, they're
Congratulations
actually,
to those guys, and I wish them well.
Yeah, building a European-style type fishing lake. It's handmade, and actually they've been working on that for a good 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they spoke about it, because we see them most years, because they come over to the English shows or the shows in Europe, and yeah, I'm always seeing the guys, and yeah, they're always saying, yeah, come over, and always say, yeah, we will, and stuff gets in the way sometimes, but
life gets in the way.
It's always life gets in the way.
It really does. If you ever decide you want to come back to Del Hollow, I would love to host you. I own a houseboat on Del Hollow, and I'd love
Really?
to.
yeah, USA CARP guide.
Yeah, we have a guide service down there, and we know the lake well. We know the lake very well, Steve. So if you do fancy coming back, I'd love to host you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, it's a dream to come back there. It's. I know we was only talking about it. Me and Joan were talking last week, and we were talking about winning money in the lottery and all that. And and she said, "What's the first thing you'd do?" And I thought, well, I was trying to think, and she said, "Well, I know what I'd do. Go back on the houseboat on Dale Hollow."
Oh,
that's what she
amazing.
said.
Yeah. Yeah, now
And I said, yeah.
mine's not quite as fancy as that one, mind you, but it sure is accommodating, and it's strictly set up for fishing. We gutted the whole thing and set it up strictly for carp fishing, and so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a barrel boat.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic.
I have an open deck out back, so you don't have to worry about overhead things, and whatnot, and it's wide open, and you can fish with 12 poles back there if one desired. We don't often, but you could.
They'll have rods for you and everything for you.
So just an invite, USA CARP Guide. Go give us a follow on Facebook if you would.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you.
And while we're talking about USA CARP Guide, I gotta ask you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go.
We have a podcast as well on Tuesday nights, Steve. And we have a segment going where we flip the script and we're interviewing people's wives and getting them to tell us the backstory behind the carp fishing, what they like about it, what they dislike about it. I would love for your wife to be on that show as well, and it would be fun to hear her stories about you.
Yeah, that would be, because she doesn't often get the chance to tell her side of the story.
They don't.
Yeah,
that's exactly right, brother. Yeah, if you'd give her an ask, we'd appreciate it. And, we'll follow up and see how she feels about it. But we've got a couple of them that we're on our fourth one now, and it's going really well. It's been really interesting and fun, and so we would like to invite her as well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, it's a great sort of idea to get the other side of it, from the women in the sport. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I'll definitely ask her for
I
sure.
appreciate it. Yeah, it's very interesting. You hear some interesting things, about how we smell when we come home, things of that nature. we don't smell good, Steve, when we come home. We just don't.
No, I mean, it's yeah, we've all been there, haven't we?
Yes,
We've
sir.
all been there many times.
Yes, sir. And so what is her PB, I wonder?
Well, that 60-pounder is
Okay,
her
yeah.
PB.
Awesome.
Her favourite is a 12-pounder. That was the first time we ever went away together when we first started seeing each other. I mean, it's 35 years ago now. And she wanted me to take her to Cassian in the south of France,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
which was where she caught the 60-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
But on her very first trip, she caught a 12-pound mirror. And she's always said that was her favourite carp because it was her first one.
I see.
But she's caught big carp from a lot of different countries as well. 50-pound carp from sort of Austria and Germany, and she's had big ones in Spain. So she's done her fair share as well
That's
catching
awesome.
carp, around the countries.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. Steve, will you marry me?
Right.
Matter of fact, how many countries have you been to just for carp fishing?
I'm not sure. It would be, what would it be? About 20, 23, 24, 25, something like that. I'm not sure the exact number.
Wow.
There's people that have gone to a lot more countries than me, but that's all for fishing. I've never actually been on a holiday outside of England anywhere. I've never actually been to another country on holiday. It's always been for fishing.
I'll be done.
Nice. Nice. I like that.
I'm gonna need you to speak to my wife.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. We need you to be an ambassador to our significant others because we need them to realize, hey, carp fishing is here. It's here to stay. They're going to go do it.
Steve, have we?
Well, it's become a lot more family orientated
Yes.
over the years. I mean, it was very much just a guy going fishing years ago. When I was young, it was a man's thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I noticed it when we went to France. The French very much involved the whole family, and they've got the nice lakes with the weather and and the nice scenery, and the family's got a lot more involved. And I see it a lot more in England as well. Like the whole family is getting involved more, which it can only be a good thing. So it's, I mean, the lakes in England aren't always the best. Like where I am now, you with the best will in the world, you wouldn't want to bring your family here tonight.
Right.
But a nice summer trip to France, or Dale Hollow, somewhere like that, it's perfect for the family. So
Sure
why
is,
not?
yeah.
Yeah, involved.
Yeah. And I do want to circle back to when you were talking about, you get that houseboat in Dale Hollow and, he says, go on, the lake's yours. You can go anywhere. I imagine that was kind of mind-blowing, coming from England where, you guys have your day ticket lakes, you have your syndicate waters, things like that. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but, you're kind of limited on your options of where to fish. And then, you come to America and it's essentially the Wild West. You could pull up and fish anywhere. Do you prefer one over the other? And if so, why do you prefer that? Do you prefer knowing the stock of the lake and, fishing for the fish? Or do you prefer, not knowing what's in the water and anything that you pull out is going to be a mystery?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I prefer the mystery. I mean, I do like all types of carp fishing, and I do all types. I love what I'm doing now, even though I know what the biggest is in here, and I don't know all the fish, but I sort of know what's in here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I enjoy all sides of that. I always have done. I enjoy the new adventures and different places, different fish, and They can be big fish, they can be small fish. You know, I love them all. But yeah, if I had one choice, it would be a big lake with freedom. You know, the freedom that's a big thing for me. Being able to sort of be so. I mean, Dale Hollow summed it up really. You know, the fact that we was there and couldn't see another carp angler, and we had loads of space, loads of freedom. We could relax, enjoy ourselves. You know, and that to me is, it doesn't get better than that. You know, it really doesn't.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, that you bring up the fact that you couldn't see another carp angler, because in my interactions, you know, I've realized that, you know, people from the UK and, you know, other countries where carp angling is popular, when they come over here, they don't want to see anybody else. However, as Americans, when we see carp anglers, we go, oh, wait, is that a carp setup? Oh, they're carp fishing. And we buzz straight to them. If we want to talk to them, you know, because we're the smallest minority of anglers over here, the carp fishermen. So if we see somebody else with a carp setup, we got to talk to them. Yeah. I think it's pretty funny how it's, you know, the roles are reversed.
Well, you've got a good situation. That's why, you know, you've got the perfect situation. Yeah, carp fishing has become so popular all around Europe. You know, we see it all the time, and the problem is that there's too many of us doing it over here now. You know, they do get very busy, and I mean, I've really enjoyed this week where there's no one here. You know, normally there would be loads of people here, and we're a victim of our own success here. You know, with Nash or whatever, we're trying to sell tackle to more and more people and bring more and more people in. And then we've got to go and fish places where there's loads of people fishing. So, you know, you can't have it both ways. But, the situation you've got is a good one. You know, you don't want too many.
It's interesting you say that, Steve, because we, most of us, anglers, carp anglers over here, are big on advocating for the carp because we want to protect it. And so in doing so, we need to bring awareness. And in bringing awareness and trying to take a kid fishing and all that stuff, you get guys interested, and then you show up to your swim, and there's people in your swim.
Should we stop announcing promoting carp fishing?
That's the price you pay. Yeah, that's what happens.
And I'm okay with it. I think. Shout out to Josh Vickers. He said it best.
Josh Vickers.
We should promote it. We should continue to advocate because we really need to protect. We have bow hunters over here, Steve, as I know you know that. Yeah. And so we want to, in some way, shape, or form, protect what we love so much. And so I think it's worth still advocating. Yeah. You know, just don't give up your spots. You know, tell them how to fish and tell them how to catch. You know, don't give up that great spot that you have. You know, but we desperately need protection over here. Desperately.
Yeah, carp fishing over here is not a sport fish, not like in your guys' country. It's basically they think of it as a trash fish.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And it is a lot different, you know, over here because, like Kitty Mac's saying, you could give somebody your spot and you show up and somebody's fishing your spot. Well, over here in America, you know, there's loads of other spots you could go to. You could go down the river and there's another stretch that you could fish and you could catch carp there because they're not pressured at all. Right. Whereas, you know, you give somebody your spot in another country like England, and then, you know, you're all prepped and you go to your spot. That's the only spot that you could fish there. You know, as far as I know, like I'm saying, they are very, very limited. So it's a little bit different as well with the advocating. You know, over here, you can, you know, ruin a couple spots by telling people, but overall, I would say with a spot getting quote unquote ruined, you know, you're igniting another American carp angler's passion. So that spot getting ruined is kind of worth it in the long run.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah, and it's a strange thing because I've seen like carp fishing evolve over all these years. I mean, in England, you know, we used to kill everything in the early days. I mean, my dad and my uncles who got me into fishing, they used to fish for food. You know, they used to, they couldn't catch carp. You know, they were too difficult. But anything else like pike or perch or, you know, it it was for the table normally, and and I saw that change to catch and release, and it sort of started in England really,
Right.
and I saw it spread to France, and and like Poland, carp was food. That was all it was, and now there's half of the country is like catch and release, and it's a slow process. America, is sort of, it's a different thing. I mean, you know it better than me, but I see it as
a different mindset altogether, Steve. I mean, it's so much so that I don't understand it. As far be it from me to downplay what makes another guy tick and what turns another guy on, because I know carp angling absolutely trips my trigger. I absolutely pour in the passion to it, and so when I see a guy out there bow hunting and he feels the same way I do, it's hard to fathom why he'll shoot that carp and throw it on the bank and do nothing with it. Yeah. If we were eating them, Steve, at least I can get behind that. At least I could say, there's a reason for it, but we don't have no rhyme nor reason for it. We're just shooting them and throwing them on the bank, bud.
It's a real shame, isn't it? And
it is.
It's funny. I had a guy sent me something from Australia just yesterday, and it's a very similar situation in Australia. And this guy had discovered this river that sort of was out in the outback, and it was full of carp, and it had been undiscovered for all this time, and the carp were there happy enough. Mm-hmm. And he said, like, if there's any bow hunters or anyone who can come down and get rid of all these carp out of the river, he said, I've managed to grab some with my hands and throw them up the bank. And I thought, why not just leave them alone? I mean, they've lived there all that time, undisturbed, not bothering anyone. But as soon as someone's seen them, all of a sudden they're a problem. And I don't get that at all. I don't get it.
Same. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So, but it's just I know one time we was on Lake Ontario, and we were catching some fish, and a coach pulled up behind us, and it was a school trip. There was a load of like youngsters, 13, 14 year old, and they saw that I was fighting this fish, which was a common about 20 pounds, something like that, and they all rushed down and they were so excited and like, what is that? What fish is that? And I said, well, it's carp, and they was going, God, that's awesome, and they didn't know any different, but they saw it and thought it was awesome. So they hadn't got the messages from other people that carp are bad or whatever. They just saw this fish and they saw the fight it was putting up. So it's how people are taught, obviously, isn't it? They're taught that carp are trash. From a young age, I guess.
Ricky Massey just made a comment that carp are also used a lot for bait here, for catfish and big flathead. I'm even okay with that, Steve. I mean, we have enough carp. It's not like we're limited. And as long as you stay in a smaller, because you want to stay in the smaller class anyway, if you're going to use it as bait, even that you're utilizing it for something,
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Or if, like you say, you eat carp, I mean, they're eaten all around the world. So if you just want to take one for yourself, but the wholesale sort of slaughter of the whole area.
That's crazy. And slaughter is the word to use, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it, and it's always sad. It's sad to see.
Yeah, I'm glad that in your story that you're talking about, you have kids that pull up behind you, and you're teaching them. Oh yeah, this is a carp. This is this is how hard they fight. This is what they look like. They were probably like, oh, that's a beautiful fish. Because I fish at a couple park lakes over here, and every time the kids come by, and they're always like, oh wow, what is that? Oh, it's a carp. Oh, it's pretty. And it's just goes to really hammer down what you're saying is it's really taught. It's taught that oh, well, that's a carp. It messes up the water, or it eats up all the vegetation. It kills the other fish. All that is something that's taught, and when you really get hands on with these fish, you can realize how beautiful, how big of a part of our ecosystem they actually are.
Yeah. Oh, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that that kids, when they see something like that, that they appreciate it. They would have loved to have caught it themselves. But somewhere along the way that they get diverted to the other train of thought that it's bad. Carp is bad. Yeah. We need to get in there somehow and change their thoughts.
Well, it's a lack of knowledge, and if we're going to do it, by golly, it's going to have to start with education.
Right.
We're in a time where even the biologists will put out an ad about Asian carp, and Asian carp are bad, that they are bad.
Yeah.
And they will, write a story about the Asian carp and then show a picture of a common carp.
Yeah.
And it just drives me insane. So we don't stand a chance.
Basically, they're using the word carp.
And if you say carp, then they're all Asian carp.
Oh yeah, everybody's. Yeah.
Do you guys have Asian carp over there?
Yeah, they put them all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have?
Sorry,
Asian
I missed
carp?
that last bit. No, we don't really. No, we don't have them in England. No, we have the other species, like the grass carp and obviously the mirror, the common, the leather, but we don't have the Asian carp. No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Lucky. They unfortunately, give the whole species a bad name. Yeah. They're the ones, they're jumping out everywhere. They're hitting the boaters and
eat a lot of plankton
things like that. So.
And they're ugly. I said it. They're ugly.
They are. Yeah, they've not got much going for them, have they?
So, we're talking about, the first step is to educate. We got to get the differences made, especially with the biologists, because they are, they're the ones that are supposed to be scientific. We got to get them known. But as far as, the public, what are some steps that you think we could take? This is kind of me asking you, how can we grow this sport that we love over here? How can we get more eyes on American carp fishing and help people realize, we're serious about it over here. We are serious carp anglers. We love these fish.
Well, I mean, you've got everything there to do it. Obviously, you've got the waters. You've got the freedom to go and fish for them. So
automatic weapons. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's getting the kids involved. If you can get the kids involved before they get the negative stuff put inside them.
Yeah.
Get them out there fishing, and and if they enjoy it and they see what an awesome adventure it is to go out there and catch these fish and let them go and see them swim away.
Right.
And then when someone says to them, no, they're trash fish, they can turn around and say, well, not from what I've seen. No, they're not, So, I mean, that's it's got to be you've got to get them young, haven't you? Right. You've got to get them young. Yeah. Because once they believe they're trash fish, it's going to be hard to change their minds.
Yeah.
You've got to get before.
The evil seeds have been.
So, start them young. Got to start them young.
All right, first impressions are everything. All
right. Over here, usually the ending of a conversation of that nature is, and that's how the fight started, Your Honor.
That's when it all went wrong. That's when it all started.
Yeah,
we are like the only country, I believe, is backwards between carp fishing. Here in the United States, it's bass fishing, but all the other countries around here, they're taking as carp as a sport fish. But we're the only problem is the United States is the only one that's not accepting that for some odd reason. So
and Australia as well is very similar.
Okay.
They class all carp as vermin.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, Wow. Yeah, absolutely. But everywhere else, I mean, literally every other country, they see them as a sporting fish, a fish that people want to catch everywhere. So
what would what would Australians sport fishing be, if you don't mind me asking?
Most of it is sea fishing.
Yeah,
They
saltwater.
they don't do a freshwater fishing in Australia. Most Australians live around the coast anyway. In coastal cities, and most of it is sea fishing.
Okay.
I forget what they call them. They've got some. They've got some fabulous sea fishing.
Yeah.
But they don't do a lot of fishing inland. I suppose there's not a lot of water inland actually in Australia.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. All right. Have you done much of maggot fishing? Using maggots?
For carp, for carp, you mean?
Yeah.
I've used them over the years. They've never done me a lot of good, to be honest. And people, it's a big thing in England, the maggot fishing, especially this time of year in the winter. But I've used them. I don't like using them. They horrible. They get everywhere, And if you don't put the lid on the bucket, they're up everywhere in the car at home, and they stink. After a day or two on the bank, they really stink. Oh, and I've never caught. I have caught carp on them, but I've never caught. I've never had sessions where the maggots caught me so many fish. It just doesn't happen for me. It really doesn't. Corn is better.
Yeah. You hear that? Everybody, you hear that? Corn. I've been trying to tell you.
Yeah, I do corn.
You do corn?
Yep. I like
corn. Do you do? Lord have mercy.
Let's see if we have any questions for you in here, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat has any questions for Steve, please feel free.
What is
to put them down there?
Probably one of your best memories of carp fishing?
There's so many. My best moment in carp fishing really was catching there was a fish in England called the Black Mirror.
Nice.
And it lived in a lake not far from where I am now, really, a few miles. But it was in like a nature reserve. It was all overgrown and you weren't really meant to fish there. But they knew people did fish there, but they sort of let us get away with it because we looked after the place. We took care of it, basically. But it was very deep and very weedy, and the fish were so difficult to catch, really, really difficult. And I wanted to catch this fish called the Black Mirror, and it took me 5 years. I fished there for 5 years, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, physically and mentally, because it was all overgrown. So just getting around the lake was very difficult, and the fish were almost impossible to catch. But eventually, in 5 years, I only caught 6 carp from the lake, but I caught the Black Mirror.
Wow.
And that was, the greatest moment of my angling life. I was so, I will never top that. That will always be my best fish,
That's awesome, Steve.
So, when you're doing something like that, a long campaign like that, you're saying 5 years, it's overgrown. You only have caught a handful of fish from this body of water. As we all have been sitting in our bivvies, late at night with no beeps, how do you mentally, keep yourself in that? How do you, keep your spirits high? And do you just think about the fish, or, are there things that you like to do to, keep yourself sane on the bank?
That's a really good point, actually, because a lot of it is just mind-numbingly boring, and you have to sort of just enjoy being there in the nature. I mean, I love to be out in the open air and in nature. Yeah. And what I found with that type of fishing, there's little windows of opportunity. There might be one day in a month where that fish was catchable. Okay. But to be there on that day, you would have to be very lucky, or you have to spend so many other days waiting for that day. So you spend 15, 20, 30 days with absolutely nothing happening, just for that one day when it does happen.
Yeah.
And so for all those other days, you have to just sit there and, sometimes it is very boring, but if you want that fish enough, you have to put yourself through it. You just have to do it. And sometimes it is like that. It isn't always exciting, action-packed stuff. Sometimes, it's a bit slow, but you have to enjoy being there, and it's like now, I've sat here for sort of 3 days in the cold, and it's a bit wet, it's a little bit rainy now, but I still just enjoy being here. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So it's always a bit of that. It's still the best option, even though I'm not catching much. It's better than sitting out.
I feel
It
your
sure
passion.
is.
Yeah.
What's next, Steve? What's on the bucket list? What's up and coming that's exciting?
There you go.
Well, I've got trips coming up. We go to France in 2 weeks, I suppose, and that'll be for the Christmas. We'll be out there for Christmas and come back just after New Year.
Nice.
And I'm looking forward to that because it's a lake that's open to anglers through the year, but it's closed from November through to March.
Oh.
And the guy who normally stays on site, he wanted to come home for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so he said to us, me and Joan again, would we like to go over there and like look after the place for, a few weeks? And of course, I can just lock the gates and the whole lake will be ours. So I can just fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish every day. And so I'm really looking forward to that. But, like bucket list places, we've fished all of the places that we ever wanted to fish. There's some beautiful places around the world that there's like Lake Bled in Slovenia. It's like a lot of people dream of going there.
Nice.
And, we've been there. Sweden's got some beautiful lakes and beautiful carp. And we've been there. There's nowhere that's like a bucket list water that we haven't been to, if you know what I mean. But there's always new adventures all the time. So, there's a never-ending list of places still to visit. But there's nowhere that I'm desperate, like that's the place we've got to go to. I'm just always looking for new adventures.
I like that.
Well, you have a fan out here, and I have to ask you this, Steve. I'm sorry. Alex Brandon, he's what we call a rig smith.
Yeah.
And you guys
Alex,
might call him
okay.
tackle tarts. We call him a rig smith, and he knows this. Alex is 20 years old. In fact, he's on the show next week.
Yeah.
And he knows every rig known to man. And he wants to know,
Very smart.
what is your favorite rig?
Yeah, that's a question that it comes up a lot. My favourite rig is a slip D rig, and you'll find with a lot of guys like me that have been fishing a long time,
Yeah.
you refine it down to 2 or 3 rigs. I don't mess around with a lot of different rigs. I have done in the past, but I tend to find I get a lot more confusion by doing that.
Huh.
And in the end, I've refined it down to 2 or 3 rigs that I'm happy to use everywhere. But the slip D rig, I would say I use that for probably 90% of my fishing.
Nice.
And it works, it works everywhere. It's easy to tie.
Yeah.
It does the job.
Yeah, I've heard that before, Steve. I've heard those similar words before on the houseboat. I use I use a blowback, and I just, when you find something that works for you, and I don't get hook pulls. At Del Hollow, I don't have a lot of danger. Unless I am hugging up against some structure or whatnot. I don't have a lot of danger. So that blowback has always been, my favorite rig. And Daniel, he uses, the slip D, and he uses several different
multi-rig.
the multi-rig, and the monkey rig, and whatever else he can come up with. And so it's interesting to hear you say that, because those are my sentiments. I just don't need I never have had a need for a lot of rigs. Now in certain situations, sure, we've got to adapt. Yeah, if we got weeds,
Yeah,
we've got to adapt, and so I do understand that. But we predominantly fish Dale Hollow. I mean, that's about 85% of our angling, and so
Yeah.
I just don't see using anything other than. And I did the same thing you did. I've tweaked it until it's my sort of rig and super simple for me. And in fact, mine's called a blowback, not a blowback. So,
Well, it's a nice situation to be. When you get to that stage where you're really happy with your rig and your setup and it works for you, it's a nice situation to be.
it is.
I've been through those times where there's a lot of confusion and I'm not sure which way to go. And when you find something that really settles you down, you catch fish on it, that's great. That's a great place to be.
Agreed. Agreed. And it takes one aspect of the mental anguish out, because there is mental anguish there. I've seen him in turmoil over rigs, and I don't have that. Because I'm like you. I've got one that I appreciate, and that's where we are. So let me ask you this. Go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, I get asked a lot of questions about different things, rig related or fishing in weed. That's a big one. And most of them come from a lack of confidence, lack of confidence about what they're using. Yeah, and we've all been there. And, it's just nice when you get that confidence. Yeah, then it's a good place to be.
Yeah, they call mine arrogance.
Yeah, I was going to say Kenny Mac's overly confident.
So I was kind of born with it, Steve. So it's kind of a curse. But hey, have you ever wanted to catch one through the ice?
I have caught fish through the ice.
Yeah,
Nice.
And again, it was when I started seeing Joan, because she was running that. I was talking about the bar and the restaurant that she was running. Well, I was fishing the lake and staying there, and the lake froze over. It froze over on the Sunday afternoon, and everyone else went home, obviously, and I was left there because I was seeing Joan. So all I did was put back leads on and kept breaking the ice every day around the lines. And Thursday midday, I had a run. And so the rods had been, once the rods came in, I couldn't get them back out.
Right.
But they'd been out since Sunday, and I caught one through the hole in the ice on the Thursday. It hasn't happened very often, but that was one time it did happen.
Wow. So
did you appreciate it? Would you? Was that something you would seek out? Is ice fishing for them?
Yeah, it's another aspect of what we do. I mean, it's very difficult to catch fish through a hole in the ice, isn't it?
Sure is. It sure is.
Out with ice.
No, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like catching carp in the snow. That's a big thing over here, to get a picture of a carp in the snow.
Yeah.
And one thing, it's being able to fish the lakes. It's got to be cold but not frozen. And then, of course, getting the carp to feed, because it's cold and they don't often want to feed when it's like that. So you can see why it's so special, catching one through the ice or because it's a difficult thing to do, but it's
right.
That's what
it's nice if you can do it.
Nice.
So if there's a kid out there right now, whether it be an American or a European angler, they're watching this and they're like, they're talking a lot about this carp thing. I think I want to go out and try to catch a carp. What are a couple of pieces of advice that you would give, to this kid that wants to go out there and try to catch their first carp?
I would just go out there and enjoy it. Do it for the right reasons. Do it because you want to go out there and enjoy the experience. And respect everything. Respect nature. Respect the fish. Respect all the other people around you. And do it for the right reasons. Enjoy it, and and tell all your mates about it.
I love that answer. Steve, I'm a retired wrestling coach, and one of the things that I spoke about a lot is respect. And I would start with respecting yourself. And what I would say to the kids is, if you can respect yourself, it's really easy to respect everything around you.
Oh, there you go.
know. So I love your answer
Yeah.
there.
Of all the famous carp anglers around you that you fished with before, famous to me, most
Famous to
anything.
us Americans.
Yeah. Who's one carp angler that you really enjoy hanging out with and fish the most?
Joan?
It's a good point, that, because I had a guy a couple of days ago where I am now. He came up filming with me, and we were talking about this.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the older I've got, the less I want to be around people. I want to spend more time on my own. And it's funny because I used to read books from guys I looked up to.
Yeah.
And when they said like they wanted to be alone, I could never understand it, because when I was younger, I wanted to be with my friends and my mates, and that was it. It was all a get together and fish together. Yeah. And as I've got older, I've enjoyed my own company a lot more. It's strange. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of guys I've really enjoyed fishing with.
Right.
Friends and people I looked up to. I mean, we had a really famous guy, Rod Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was a guy I looked up to for years, read all his books.
Yeah.
And actually ended up joining a team. When he put a team together, for his company,
Yeah.
I was part of that team. So I ended up fishing with him and talking with him. And, that was great, because it was like, something I never thought would happen. It was strange. 1 minute I'm reading his books, the next minute I'm fishing with him.
Yeah.
So that's
amazing.
really
That's
nice.
amazing.
Yeah, that was nice.
Were you a part of Nash at all?
Yeah, I've been a part of Nash now for, let me see, about 13 years now, 13 or 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you got a lot of your boilies, yeah?
Well, it was.
What are you going to do now, I wonder? Did you have an array, or did you have somebody else to go to, or were you in love with their boilies?
I was fortunate and very grateful that, we got a lot of bait companies in England, and I was lucky. I had a lot of nice offers. I didn't know what would happen. It all came a little bit out of the blue when Nash Bait was finishing.
Yeah.
And I was surprised how many people made offers. And all sorts, from small companies to big ones. And I chose a company in the end called RG Baits.
Yep.
Yes,
And the
sir.
reason for that was they're quite a new company. And I didn't want to go with another big company in England and just be another guy in the machine sort of thing. I wanted to be in with a company that had quality,
Right.
but we're just starting, and we can sort of build it up together.
That's nice.
And plus a couple of the guys there, one of the main ones used to be with Nash, so I knew them. There was that connection already, so it all sort of fitted together nicely. It wasn't any one thing. The whole thing just fitted nicely, so that's how it worked.
Awesome.
We actually have a teammate on Team Fish Fighters actually named his son Nash after Nash.
Really?
Yeah. We have.
So
He named his boy.
He
Nash.
loved Nash, so he named his son.
Well,
Nash.
it's a pretty cool name anyway.
It is a cool name.
Yeah.
It is a cool name.
Oh, jeez.
It wouldn't be quite the same mainline, or say call it what's your name, mainline, but Nash is
Right.
Yeah. The CC Moore doesn't
Right.
fit.
Trying to tell you something.
CC's more could work. It could work. CC.
For a boy?
CC.
I don't know.
See?
Too close to Sissy to me.
Yeah, that sounded good for a minute until Sissy. Yeah, not quite.
Nash has a ring to it. It has some masculinity to it, you know.
So
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just say. So one thing, that we as Americans are always trying to do, is get our hands on your guys' European baits, because it's so hard. They work so well, and we can't seem to get them. Is there any way for us Americans to get a hold of those RG baits? And if so, is there one that we need to be on the lookout for? Your personal favorite?
Well, I mean, it is something they're looking into. I mean, at the moment it's just in England, but they're starting to look into. We talked about this the other day. They want to spread and they want to distribute bait, or to wherever they can. So it's starting with Europe, I suppose. Yeah, they do some lovely baits, really nice quality baits. A couple of sort of fish mealy ones. There's the Red Sea squid,
Nice.
the Arctic crab, which are like the summer, more summer baits. The one I've got with me at the moment, it's called Vitalac, and it's more of a sort of nut-based, milky type. It smells a little bit coconutty, but it lends itself more to winter fishing. But yeah, they do some lovely little attractor baits. That I've got a tub of these. They're called Ripple wafters,
Okay.
and the smell is just gorgeous.
Nice.
You just want to eat them. Yeah, so they do some nice stuff. They do some lovely baits.
Sweet. Do you mess around with PVA bags a lot? If you do, what do you? If you do, what do you like to put into those things? Like tiger nuts, crushed boilies, or what kind of stuff you like to put into those?
Yeah, a lot of the time it's crushed boilies and pellets. I'm using them where I am now today. I've used like little mesh bags. That's all I'm using at the moment. I mean, the fish aren't hungry here, so I'm just trying to get one little bite at a time. Just putting out enough food to get a bite. So I've got my little Ripple wafter on there, and just a little mesh bag. I suppose like a walnut-sized mesh bag, and that's got crushed boilie and pellet in there. That's all that's in there.
All three are rods?
So I've got 3 rods out, and they're all the same.
Okay. Do you chum before you go there, or have you chummed?
No, it's so difficult here because you just can't guarantee getting your place.
Right.
Gotcha.
I mean, I love to do it in an ideal situation. Yeah, absolutely, I would.
Yeah.
If I thought I could like feed a place and I'd be able to fish that place when I come back down, yeah, for sure.
If you don't mind me asking, I'm sorry. If you don't mind me asking, how cold is it there right now?
Tonight it's not so bad. It's above freezing tonight.
Okay.
Last night was a lot colder. I think it got down to -4 last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and everything was white this morning with frost. The lake didn't freeze. There was no ice on the lake, but it was very cold.
Yeah.
It's a little bit warmer tonight.
Yeah, that rain come in and brought a little bit of heat. Yeah.
Yeah, from us.
Yeah. It's a few degrees warmer, definitely.
Okay. Now, when you fish at nights and all that stuff, and you're like in that type of weather, -4, how do you keep yourself warm in your bivvy? A lot of times, do you have sleeping bags and all?
Yeah. I mean, basically, we've got all the kit now, haven't we? That it's all out there, and I mean, we call them sleep systems now. The bed chair comes with the sleeping bag all attached. It's all built into one, and they're so warm and comfortable now. And
They are.
yeah, I mean, I always say it, but we should have had this years ago, and all those freezing cold nights. I mean, I used to be freezing cold when I was a kid,
Right.
and just we didn't have nothing. We didn't have any gear, but like now, there's no excuse for being cold now. You
No,
can
it really
literally.
isn't. No, there really isn't.
Dress for your environment.
Yeah, we've got electric blankets for sleeping bags now on the bank and everything. So yeah, happy days.
Yeah. We've got over here, I'm sure you have them as well, but over here we have power stations that don't require gas anymore. They're solar powered, and
Yeah.
some of them are 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 watts. They could run air conditioners if you needed. They're and they're not very big. They're only so big, and we've got a lot of advantages these days for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot more gear to carry. That's the only problem.
It is,
I used to go fishing on a little push bike, and now the car and the van's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But we need
Sure
it.
is.
We need all that. We need all that gear.
We that segment, that podcast that I was telling you about with the spouses, we're 3 out of 3 of all of them saying that the bad thing is how much gear we have. All 3 women said, all 3 weeks, that one of the things that they wish they would go away is how much stuff that we have.
Oh wow! See now, Joan, my wife, she's the other way. She takes everything. I have. When I go on my own, like now, I've got the minimum of gear. I've still got enough to keep me warm and covered, but it's minimum.
Yeah.
When I go with her, Jesus, there's nothing left to chance.
Well, I think they more meant on what we have stored at home. In the garage, in the shed, and there's kit everywhere. That's sort of what they meant. And what's different about your wife is she actually goes, and ours don't. I think there's only one out of the 3 so far that does any type of angling with their husband.
So how long? Just you, when you go out by yourself, how long does it take for you to set up all your stuff around your swim?
Not long at all. No, I'll probably. It depends where I am, sort of what I'm doing. If I'm really sort of looking around for fish.
Yeah.
But I can set everything up in 20 minutes. 15, 20 minutes. The complete lot. Rods out.
Nice.
Bed made, bivvy up. Yeah, 15, 20 minutes really.
Nice.
And a lot of the time, when I'm fishing on my own here in England, I tend to move around a lot.
Yeah.
I like to be where the fish are, and I've moved today. I've moved every day that I've been here. Rather than just setting up camp and sitting in a place and waiting for the fish. If I don't feel like the fish are there, then I'm off looking for them. I'm happy once I've found the fish.
Right.
And so, I've moved again today. It hasn't done me any good, but I've still done it anyway. But that's why I sort of travel lightly. I'm always ready to move if I have to.
Yeah.
So another question: when we talked about you like fishing with boilies and corn, do you what do you put around your method feeder? What kind of pack bait do you use? Pack bait, or is it just straight stuff that's on your hook?
Yeah, it's not something we really use over here.
Yeah.
Or what I use in my fishing. No, I do a lot of boilie fishing.
Okay.
I use boilies a lot because, in general, they do pick out the better fish over time. You do catch a better stamp of fish on the boilies compared with everything else. So I do a lot of boilie fishing.
That's what over here in the United States we use a lot of pack baits a lot of times, or something around the method feeder. But that's kind of pretty fascinating. Mainly you guys just do a lot of stuff with boilies or corn or whatever, or tiger nuts.
A lot of pellet.
Or pellet. Oh yeah, PVA. I guess PVA is almost like exactly the same way in a way. But wow, that's crazy. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And, some of us over here in the United States, especially in the winter, like you're saying, we use a little bit of the PVA mesh, just a little stick right there on our hook, with a bright hook bait right there, a little pop-up, those winter fish, they seem to love that.
Yeah. That's a standard sort of style of fishing in England. You know, like the simple small bait approach. English anglers, I mean, they don't tend to use a lot of bait in England. You know, they tend to be trying to catch one fish at a time, one bite at a time.
Yeah.
And the bright hook bait and the little mesh bag.
Yeah.
I suppose because we're used to so many people around us, we're all trying to catch that one. You know, there's not enough to go around, really. You know, there's times where that tends to catch you more smaller fish fishing that way. You know, I'm trying to thinking of times like when I went there was a big lake in Romania, and I always struggled to catch the big fish there. And what I used to do, I used to put out, like, say, a pound of bait out, you know, enough to catch one fish.
Yeah.
And I would end up catching a lot of fish, and they would come faster and faster. But what I was doing was creating sort of competition. I was only putting out a little amount of bait, and the fish that were fastest would get that bait first. And of course, the fastest ones were the smallest ones. Right. So I ended up catching more and more small fish.
Gotcha.
The way to catch the big ones in the end, what I discovered, was to put a whole load of bait out, like, well, about 30 kilos, so about 60, 70 pounds of bait, all in one go, which is a lot. It's a lot of bait to put out there in boilies.
Yeah.
But what that did, it was slower to get going, and you would still get small fish, but it gave the big fish a chance to come in and push the small ones out. And doing it that way was how I caught all of my bigger fish from that lake, you know. So, yeah, there's so many different ways to go about fishing, you know, and how you want to do it, what you want to catch. But, yeah, this time of year in the winter, it's still about getting that one bite at a time. It really is.
Sure is.
Yeah. Wow.
What would you recommend for winter time to the listeners? I mean, even let's even detail it. I mean, you want to sort of go away from proteins, and get into your carbohydrates. Yeah.
Strong flavors, strong fruit flavors are always good winter attractors. You know, get away from the fishy ones. Yeah, the carbohydrates, and you know, corn will still be good. Corn will work all year round.
Corn.
But yeah, as far as boilies or anything like that goes, yeah, carbohydrate based and strong fruit based flavors. Keep away from the oils and fishy stuff. Yeah, something like a nice pineapple or so, you know, peach or anything fruit based, you know, that tends to catch a lot more winter carp than anything else.
Sweet. Wow.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's funny that you say that, because in my experience, it's actually the opposite over here. Whereas in the summertime, you know, it's the fruity flavors, your strawberries, your peaches, your bananas. And then as we go to the winter time, in my, you know, my waters, they like the things like the Scopex squids, the monster crabs, the green lip mussels.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so it's very interesting to hear that.
All the different countries are like
that is the thing with, I mean, that is carp fishing in a nutshell, because someone said once, there's nothing black and white in carp fishing. There's just huge grey areas, you know, and whatever you say, like, you know, there's another instance that goes completely against it.
Well, you're right there. I mean, that's something I say all the time. Yeah, Daniel is, don't listen to me. Just take a piece of it and keep listening to the next guy, because you need to put your own thing together, because your thing is going to work. You know, you know. But Daniel's right. We would strip it down, Steve. We literally take all the flavors out. We strip it down to, you know, carbohydrates, oats, you know, panko, zero flavor. We don't use any flavor. We strip it down. So it's interesting that you say that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we talk about them a lot in England, like attractor baits, you know, and you just trying to get that feeding reaction out of carping when it's really cold. And I mean, we've done it with sweeteners as well, you know, like not using flavours, but using a lot of sweeteners.
Yeah.
And again, to try and get that, you know, sort of feeding reaction out of a fish. And there's so many different ways you could do it, I suppose.
Absolutely. Do you put any sweeteners in your corn?
Yeah, I tend to put corn in a mix with sort of pellet and sort of crumbs, you know, make a mix out of it rather than just corn on its own. And I will use sweetened liquids in that, or honey, you know, even, you know, we use honey a lot.
Salt?
Which is another old one that's been around forever, obviously, but they still love it.
Yeah. And what about salts?
Yeah, not so much. I mean, I prefer the sweet sort of side of it to the salts, but you know, again, there's a lot of evidence that, you know, salts are so attractive to carp, and there's a lot of talk about it in the spring. You know, like I don't know why, but the minerals that they need in the spring or whatever after the winter, you know, salt goes a long way to helping them, you know, balance their whatever metabolism, you know. I'm no good talking technical stuff, but they like salt.
Yeah, agreed. And we step it up in spring and add salt to our corn as we're boiling it, you know. We boil our corn. We use deer corn, which I'm sure you're well aware of. We boil it until it's just super soft and squishy, and then we'll sprinkle either Himalayan salt or even table salt into the mix. Not a whole bunch, mind you, but, you know, a good coating, you know.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think it does a couple things for them. I think it's good for their skin. So if you've got some floating around in the waters, I think it's good for sores, and especially after, you know, they get done bumping uglies. You know, they're all beat up, and, you know, and if there's salt in that water, it will help heal those sores and rubs that they've acquired trying to make babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, salt is an important thing in the animal world as a whole, isn't it? You know, I know I've watched nature programs where they'll just dump a load of salt in a forest, and the animals are come from far and wide, you know, because they know the salt's there. You know, I mean, it doesn't give off anything to us, but to animals, they can sense that from miles away, and and they come for the salt, and I'm sure it's the same for carp. You know, their senses are a lot more sensitive than ours, and they know it's there.
What's one of your pet peeves about carp fishing? Something that just gets on your nerves, or what?
There we go.
I want to know the side of Steve.
I suppose people are always moaning about other people, and you know, and moaning about carp fishing. They moan about the price of everything, and but they've always got everything. You know, that's what annoys me about people. They always say, "Oh, look at the price of that Nash stuff," and you look at, you know, I can't afford that. I've got a family. But you look at their setup; they've got everything. You know, I mean, literally, they've got the best of everything.
The braggers.
You know, and if they owned a tackle company, it'd be top price. You know, I guarantee it.
Well, I think it's just human nature to grumble. Yeah.
I suppose so. Yeah, I'm very much sort of live and let live. You know, even don't like something. You know, I appreciate that some people do like that. You know, so it's fine. But people. Yeah, they're always moaning that everything costs too much, and you know, in reality, they still go out there and spend all their money on it.
The carp tax.
Yeah,
carp tax.
Well, you got any more questions?
He definitely got us, because we have sitting here. We have 8
R4s
between us.
Let's not talk about what we have. I'm embarrassed to tell you. And you wouldn't need to, let me put it this way, you wouldn't need to bring any kit at all. I
Yeah.
assure you. Yeah, we're terrible. Absolutely terrible. Now, I don't do high end, Steve. I can say that. We don't have,
Mechanical rod pod. Nash R4s.
All right, so I have one Mechanica rod pod.
And 4 Nash
thanks
R4s.
to the Rafal, so I didn't pay that for it. But yeah, we're middle of the road. I have a Shimano Ultegra 14,000 bait runners. They're middle of the road, and they're great, man.
Yeah.
They're great. And, I didn't spend $1,000 a reel.
Is that the one you dipped in gold?
Yeah, I dip them in the lake often to keep them well maintained.
Keep them working.
Sometimes it's unintentional. Okay, I'll give you that.
Is that the one you got the loan on from the bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your reels, Steve? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm definitely no tackle tart. Put it that way. I with the best will in the world, my tackle always looks like a bomb's hit it. It really does. I'm so untidy, but yeah, I've got the Nash reels. I've got they're the LR 8000s for if that means anything, but they are the Nash ones. But only because I have to use them. They don't like it. I've still got Shimano reels, and I love the old Shimano reels, but if I put a picture on social media and it's got Shimano reels,
Right.
I get a message off Alan Blair saying, "Where's your Nash reels?" So yeah, there's things I have to do. I have to use Nash gear.
I have my wild water setup reels. It's the old DAM reels.
Yeah.
And then I still fish them. Bought those things like over 15 years ago, and I still use them. And then my smaller rod reels is my Shimano 3500s bait runners, and that's still
The original bait runner.
Yeah, I don't really.
Great old reels.
Yeah, if it still works, I'm still using it. It's like,
Yeah, they're great reels. Great old reels they are. They really are.
Yeah,
They're actually my all-time favorite. It was my very first bait runner. We're bait runner people over here. I don't know, you probably aren't, but
Not all of us.
got an outcast.
At least the good ones are.
Ouch!
So fuck for that one, I guess.
Ouch!
The one that actually have fish pictures have bait runners.
Oh,
Okay.
ouch!
So, but some of the other ones,
It's getting hot in here.
they use the quick drag. But Daniel has nice outfits. I'll give it to him. He's got nice equipment. But even his stuff isn't, that $1,200, $1,500 a piece item. It's still,
Yeah.
Still expensive.
No, you don't need to pay fortunes.
Nah.
You just don't.
People-
You just don't.
Yeah, they do it to look good. If it looks good to them, they feel good. Then if they feel good, then great. It's fine. But obviously, you catch carp on a bit of stick and a bit of line, can't you?
Yeah, that's what James was just describing.
Yeah, we got
Broomsticks.
I got another teammate, Jimmy Sneed. Man, I think that guy's buying carp stuff, products every single week. It's like, look what I got now. Look what I got this. How I got these rods. I got this. I mean, it's just on and on.
Well, I think that's sort of their passion, right?
Yeah,
we all got the pieces of carp angling.
What makes you happy?
So yeah, like you are developing the need, not the need, but the pleasure of being alone. That's starting to become a part of your carp angling, and for some people, spending money and buying carp kit it does it for them.
It's an addiction. I see it.
Sort of an addiction, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's their guilty pleasure, isn't it? It's their guilty
pleasure, yes. Corey Bowman,
Horrible.
Jimmy Sneed,
Yeah. Austin Jones.
Austin Jones.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Steve, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Oh my gosh.
I rushed over here. I was an hour early, and
Was you?
I'll
Yeah,
be
he
late
was.
for
I
my
walked in,
funeral.
he was
But when I heard you was going to be on, I got excited, and I couldn't wait to get over here. And I do appreciate your kindness. I do appreciate your
Yeah.
experience and all that you've been through. There's a lot of people over here rooting for you, bud.
Yeah.
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 Well, I really appreciate it, guys. I mean, thanks so much for asking me. I've really enjoyed it. It's been
Good.
Thank you.
great. When I've been over in the past, like Chicago, we were talking about. It was great. It's great meeting everyone, and it's been nice to keep in touch.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to send a Facebook request. I don't really think we're friends, and I know you guys over there don't know me, but my name is Kenny Mack.
Who are you?
Over here, I'm famous as Michael Jackson, but probably not so much over there. No, really, I really, there's about
Stop
10 or 12
it.
people that know me over here.
Who is this guy?
14, maybe. But I'll send
Yeah,
you.
we'll send it over, and I'll pick it up.
Okay, I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, whenever you are thinking of, we talked about bucket list things and, you talked about there's no one water, but, you'd like the adventure. If you ever do want another, Dale Hollow adventure, please hit up Kenny Mack. Please check out USA CARP
Yeah,
Guide because
amen.
we will accommodate you for whatever you would like.
Absolutely.
I'll do that for sure. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah,
Thank you.
Is there
yeah, and we
anything
will come over again for sure.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Please let us know when you come over. I would love
Yeah.
to, just
Yeah.
say hi.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to talk very much anymore, so I mean, just wave at me.
Yeah, they're going to being alone out the window.
Right, I was just saying, I know you like being alone, so we'll put you, we could set you up somewhere. You could
Won't
be
be
alone,
creepy, I promise,
We'll get
you
you
know.
all set up, whatever you
Yeah.
want to do. We can accommodate whatever.
Steve,
Oh,
is there anything
that's
you'd like
brilliant.
to say?
Shout outs to anybody?
You want to shout out to anybody? Anything that you'd like to say?
No, I mean, I'm just sitting here on my own, just chatting to you guys, and yeah, I mean, it's just all the guys that I've met every time I've come over have been brilliant. So all Jeff Conroy and the guys that Big Carp Tackle.
Yeah.
I'll be over to see you all again soon, hopefully, because you're all great guys.
Appreciate that.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
that. Except Daniel.
Except Dave.
Except Daniel.
I'm constantly getting ribbed over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of a jokester, Steve. I apologize.
Yeah. But, all right.
It's all good stuff.
Well, thank you very
Yeah.
much, Steve. Very much appreciate
Thank you
your
very
time.
much.
Thank
Appreciate you very much.
Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you guys. Thank
And
you
good
very
luck,
much.
sir. Good luck. I hope you
Have a
catch
great
it
session.
tonight.
Good
Bless the
luck.
hog.
All right. Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Bye, man.
Cheers. Bye.
Steve Briggs. You know
Wow.
something?
Wow,
He's a
wow.
lovely bloke.
Man,
What a show.
man, that's got a little goosebumps. See that?
I was just saying, I need to.
Goosebumps.
Yeah. So you get that pork chop arm next to me again, see if I don't bite on it.
Man, I
Pork
mean,
chop.
if he
This
does
dude
kind
come
of,
in smelling like a seasoned pork chop.
Here we
And I'm
go.
hungry.
I swear, if he comes to the United States, I'll wave at him and then probably say to myself, "I love you, Steve." But that's about it. Nothing
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, I really, I really
Yeah.
would like, for him
Wow.
to reach out to us if he does come. Like
Yeah,
I said, just
that would be
not
very
even,
exciting.
because he is talking about, he likes to fish alone and whatnot. We
Yeah.
can definitely,
Yeah.
say, hey, what's up?
I
Here's
promise
your
I
spot.
wouldn't leave him alone.
See, now can't.
See, now you're messing it
ruining
up,
it.
I
man.
can't help it, man.
You gotta
Okay,
draw
what
him
do you
in.
think about this? What
Wow.
about this? What about
He's
this?
gonna
What
put
about
a training
this?
Right,
order
but you got to
before he
tell
comes
him
to the
that we put
United
him off
States.
by himself and then drive the pontoon up to
Fair enough, but you probably have to shackle me.
him.
Those are the type of minds I want to get into.
Yeah.
I want to know what more great carp anglers we could get from the UK just to talk to us. I mean, we got the great Steve Briggs.
Yeah, I was just
Who
saying.
else can we get?
We're starting off pretty top
Well,
caliber. That's
he mentioned one.
nice.
Rodheads.
Alan.
Yeah, I was
Let's
just
go
saying.
get Alan, man.
Alan.
I don't know. They get
Alan.
Alan on that. I might be sweating bullets for that entire
Man, I'll call it. I'll ask Alan Blair if he uses corn right to his face.
That does it. Bottom feeder baits. I got that one flavor corn.
We're making corn.
It's going to be called corn now. I named it corn. It's already out. It's just
Yeah, and I
changed the
think it
name.
was-
It's called corn now.
I think it was the way you said it that I lost it. He said that. So do you use corn?
Corn?
You know, I do notice when I talk a lot sometimes, and I'm not thinking I do repeat
No,
a couple words
no,
over and
no,
over
I-
automatically.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
No, you show
the
me
beauty
the
of
error
the
of my
show.
ways. Man, we just got done talking.
I tell you what, I absolutely love this team. I absolutely love being around you guys. You're always make me laugh,
Yeah.
and I get to be me. I get to be myself. I don't have to be all restricted and try to be proper because I'm not. And you are a joy to be around you guys.
Yeah.
Same way, bro. Same way.
Yeah.
Freaking Steve Briggs, man.
I know.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Steve.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Wow. Briggs.
And we had like 720,000
Awesome show.
followers.
Well, okay.
Oh, please like and subscribe.
Yeah,
Anybody
everybody.
that's left,
Yeah.
like and you might try to get Rick Massey to like and subscribe.
Thanks everybody that watched on the Team Fish
Yeah,
Fighters
please.
YouTube that followed
Thank
us
you.
over here from Facebook. First show over on YouTube, and you guys showed out. We do appreciate that. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel.
Yep.
This is where it's going to be, and hopefully.
Hey, how
we can get
how
some
was
more.
the technical? You guys that are still in here, how was the sound and the viewing quality? Grade us on the quality of the podcast, if you
For
would.
YouTube.
On a scale of
YouTube.
1 to 100,000.
$5.99.
Yeah, I'm stuck between like 27,000.
27,581 and like.
And then Jeremy Burdine says QD for me.
Yeah, everybody was saying quick drags.
Yeah,
You're talking
well,
about
Steve put it all to rest tonight with the rigs, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with him saying the exact words that I've been saying to Daniel-san. I mean, word for word, the guy said what I say to this knucklehead. And here's where it came from. It came from him and Carrie coming into me every 10 minutes doing one or of two things.
Oh, Carrie.
Smell this. Smell this. Hey, smell this. Is it more bait?
Because Eureka! I found it out.
Yeah. Oh, this is it. Smell it. Smell it.
I found the magic bait.
I'll smell it.
Eureka!
And then
5
one
minutes
day I
later.
just got tired of smelling shit.
It's
I said, no, I ain't smelling nothing else. I don't care. And then they come in with these rigs. Check out this rig. Check out this rig. Check out. Oh man, this is called the monkey rig. This is called the Chicago German slide by D rig. Oh my gosh! Stop. Here's the problem. I'm not that smart. You give me a headache. I can't keep up. Carrie and Daniel are all technical and all this. I can't. This works. This works. This is what I'm using. It works.
No, man, it's the magic bait.
No, try this, man. You
the
need
magic
4,700 pounds of dumbbells and a weight bench, and you can get this rig right here. This is called the Nautica, Lifetime Fitness 2000. I don't know. I can't do it. But hey, we got an 8.3
Okay, an 8.3.
from Plants Be for People.
That's
Appreciate
Molly.
that, thank you.
Oh, that's honest 8.3 then if that's Molly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I appreciate that, Molly. I don't trust you to narrow another one in here but you.
She was going to give us an
You,
8.0, but she threw the 0.3 in there to feel
did.
good.
If you guys liked somebody else to come on the show that's well known, or if you know anybody that's well known, maybe from the UK or any parts of the United States, please let us know. Love to have them on the show, talk about carp fishing.
Yeah, not just us, but let them know.
Yeah.
Start harassing them in their
Exactly.
comments. Say, hey,
Please.
get on the Carp Talk podcast over
Yeah.
there, So they'll be like, what's a Carp Talk podcast? And then we'll
Yeah.
be right there. Boom. Okay, there we are.
Right.
So if you want to see somebody, go ahead, harass them until they get on here.
Yeah. I'm going to go get Alan Blair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll be
I'm
sweating.
going to go get him.
Good.
I'm going to go get him.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
everyone, for coming to our show.
Kinda carried on a little bit.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Very thankful for you guys. Thankful for my co-hosts over here,
Yep.
James and Kenny Mack. Also, we are thankful for our
Daniel.
sponsors, Carp Angler, Big Buddy Beepers, Team Fish Fighters, Carpy Commando, USA CARP Guide, and as always up there, Bottom Feeder Baits. If you want to get your hands on Bottom Feeder Baits, then get a hold of one of us, Kenny Mack, James Sanders, or Daniel Irish. And if you have a bait shop near you, that's even better. We are trying to get our bait into any bait shop that we can. Get it in your hands. This stuff is catching fish. Seems like everybody that uses it loves it. So go ahead, get some Bottom Feeder Baits. Happy Thanksgiving.
Drop back. Thank you for all you do. He got some more stuff coming out. West Coast Bait Boat, Nick Rusi. Thank you for all you do, brother.
Oh, I missed him. I'm so sorry.
We don't have.
Yeah, we got one right here.
Oh yeah, let's go get it.
Oh, they can't see it. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
right
why I
here.
missed it.
Right here.
We got West Coast Bait Boats over there. Nick Rusi. Shout out West Coast Bait Boats.
And then Ben's Tackle Shack.
Ben Tack.
Right there.
Yep.
Boom.
Shout out Ben.
Oh, that's my hat. I left it here.
That's my hat. Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. We'll see
Happy
you
Thanksgiving, everybody,
next
guys.
week.
Later.